Now at 10, runners around the 4 states brave the cold with a frosty trail run. Plus, the George Washington Carver Museum holds a documentary showing of in remembrance of Martin for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we meet 4-state comedian Keith Terry, who is using laughter to help spread a message.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We'll be seeing single-digit and negative temperatures for a while. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Snowy. We go straight to meteorologist Katie Frazier for a first look at the forecast.
Well, good evening, everyone. We are still under those alert days now through Tuesday as dangerously cold temperatures are expected across the 4 states. We're also looking at snow across the region tomorrow. Very low wind chill temperatures. We're talking about the negative teens, negative 20s, but as we look to the horizon, warmer days will be returning to the 4 states, hopefully sooner rather than later. Look at our feels-like temperatures across the 4 states. It is negative 15 right now in Neosho with negative 20 in Parsons, negative 26 up in Yates Center. So brutal right now, and it's going to continue to be quite brutal over the next couple of days. As far as snow goes, not seeing anything right now, but this will change tomorrow as we're expected snow across the area. I'll have more details on your accumulation chances coming up.
All right, thanks, Katie. Well, severe weather is impacting more than 70 million Americans this weekend with bone-chilling temperatures forecasted from the south to the northeast to the west and everywhere in between. CBS's Christian Benavides reports.
An Arctic blast creating hazardous conditions throughout most of the country. Sunday's Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game was postponed to Monday in anticipation of deteriorating conditions.
You've heard me warning it for days. You've heard our county executive warning it. You've heard our mayor warning it. And now it's happening.
Elsewhere in the Northeast, heavy rain caused flooding from Maine to New Jersey, where residents couldn't leave their homes.
This machine, you can at least plug in the sub pump and at least the water stay in the basement.
Blizzard warnings in the Midwest as residents are cleaning up. The wind chill Saturday as low as negative 40 in parts of the region. Officials in Buchanan County, Iowa are urging residents to stay home.
Fins up, baby!
While Miami Dolphins fans are braving very different temperatures than they're accustomed to as they arrived in Kansas City for the Chiefs-Dolphins game.
We're not coming here thinking of South Florida weather, that's for doggone sure. I got snow boots, snow pants, I got all of these things. You think somebody from Florida doesn't have this stuff? You're wrong.
Across the South, including Texas, they're preparing for below freezing temperatures, while out west, winter storm warnings from Oregon to California. A blast of winter weather for much of the nation. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
A driving ban is in effect in Buffalo beginning at 8 p.m., while in the Sooner State of Oklahoma, the National Weather Service warned of wind chills below 25 degrees. Runners around the area stayed warm today with some exercise. The Joplin Road Runners hosted a Frosty 4 trail run at Morse Park. Awards were given out to the winners from each category, top male and female, and top in age-graded performance ranking. All participants received medals following the run.
I like trail running above everything. Love trail running. There's a great variety in it. You constantly have to be aware of where you're going. If you look up, you fall down. If you look down, you get lost. So it's a constant awareness of where you are, and you see the beauty of nature while you run through it.
Net proceeds from today went to the Hope Kitchen in Neosho. George Washington Carver National Monument today remembered Martin Luther King Jr. with a documentary called In Remembrance of Martin. The showing featured personal reflections by people who recall his career and leadership in the civil rights movement.
When you hear it from people who actually knew the person, and actually when they're talking about the gentleman, talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, kind of the same way when you look through Carver's letters and the people that are connected to Carver, it brings a whole nother element to that story because it's a more personal level.
The monument will be showing the documentary again tomorrow and Monday at 1 p.m. From opening for Michael Bublé to traveling the world, comedian Keith Terry has found success from his art. He's now using that art to spread a message. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
Mama, you call us? No, I'm choking, boy, I'm choking.
Keith Terry is an Arkansas native with a talent for making people laugh.
I got stories for days, man. Stories for days.
But more than that, he uses his talent to spread a message.
How did that happen? Love. Just say the word love. Say the word love and frown. Love. You know what I mean?
Love is not just a word to Keith. It's a lifestyle, and he knows the perfect way to share it.
It's on stage. It's on stage from my experiences, good and bad, and I'm love, and that's the message, you know?
Just a few years ago, Keith found himself in a low spot after suffering losses in his family and Keith himself having health issues.
I passed after I died. Over 2 minutes gone. No oxygen. I'm not on this earth. Welcome to Joplin. It was 20 degrees yesterday. It's 70 degrees today.
Through that hardship, Keith began a new part of his life, and it started here in Joplin.
Because Joplin was the first headline in my first performance. This right here, this shot is after I got out of the hospital, maybe a week or two. I had made a choice that every single day I was going to be the best version of myself, and I was going to make the right decision. Life is choices and options, and that's the choice I made, which dictates the options that I get. And like after losing everything in life, including your life, and then making a conscious decision to be like, I am more of what I am than who I am. Who I am is things that come from this world. What I am is in the universe is I'm love.
Keith plans to show that love right here in Joplin, at the spot that gave him new purpose. He just has one small request.
Turn the phones off first, you know.
And one last piece of advice.
Forgive yourself, whatever it is. One of the hardest lessons, you dig, was forgiving myself. Didn't even realize how important that was. So that's what I want.
Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Keith will be performing at the Roxy Event Center on January 26th at 8 p.m. For information about tickets, you can visit our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, how the IRS collected hundreds of millions of dollars from people who've been cheating the system. Plus, with just a couple of days left until the Iowa caucuses, Republican presidential hopefuls brave the cold to do some last-minute campaigning. The IRS is getting even with tax cheats. The agency says it has collected an additional $360 million in overdue taxes from delinquent millionaires. This follows an additional $122 million collected last October, with nearly $500 million total in back taxes from wealthy tax cheats being recouped. The announcement comes as the IRS prepares for a severe round of funding cuts. Former President Donald Trump now has to pay almost $400,000 in legal fees to the New York Times. A New York federal judge ordered him to do so Friday. The decision comes after Trump's failed lawsuit against the news outlet and its journalist. He sued the paper and his niece, Mary Trump, over the disclosure of his tax information in a 2018 Times article. The judge is allowing the case against Mary to continue. Just 2 days before the Iowa caucuses, the state is seeing whiteout conditions and record-breaking cold. The severe weather has forced Republican contenders to adapt, and with temperatures forecasted to be in negative double digits on caucus night Monday, many are wondering how the bitter cold will impact voter turnout. Natalie Brand reports from Iowa.
Despite inches of snow on the ground and sub-zero temperatures, the campaigns are trying to plow ahead during this final weekend before caucus night.
They can throw a blizzard at us and we are gonna fight.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis traversed the state for a series of events, including a stop at the headquarters of the super PAC supporting him. Volunteer Debbie Hettinger says she's made 2,000 calls on behalf of DeSantis since she started volunteering in October.
What do you think DeSantis' chances are?
Well, I think they're very good because they have a really good ground game here. And I think, well, I'm hoping that the snow and the weather doesn't keep people home.
They're now encouraging people to turn out despite the freezing cold. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley also tried to cover as much ground as possible Saturday to win over undecided voters. But John Urkela has his mind made up.
The Republican Party, we have hemorrhaged suburban women voters. I think someone like her would bring a lot of those voters back to the fold and give us a fighting chance to win again.
Polls show a close race for second between Haley and DeSantis, but both trail former President Trump by double digits in the latest surveys of Iowans. Trump, who's maintained a strong base of support in rural parts of the state, had to cancel rallies planned for Saturday due to concerns about frostbite.
Even with the snow here, I think nothing's going to keep a Trump person from being out at the caucuses on Monday.
Mother Nature delivering an unexpected blow, with campaigns trying to ensure their supporters turn out on what's expected to be the coldest caucus night in history. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Iowa.
Temperatures are forecast to be below zero on Monday evening when caucus goers gather at precinct locations across the state. A little later, the St. Louis Cardinals stopped by Missouri Southern as part of the Cardinal Caravan. Brock Baldridge will have that and more in sports.
Good evening, everyone. We're starting off by looking out at indigo sky, and it is a downright cold night across the 4 states. You can't really see too much going on. There is not any snow falling as of now, but that is expected to change across the region tomorrow. Now, the winds are also a factor, blowing out of the north and bringing all that cold Arctic air into the 4-state area. So the winds are still blowing anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour across the region. They will stick around as well. And the clouds are clearing out, which means the temperatures overnight tonight will really plummet. And our feels-like temperatures will be in the negative single digits, but that's the air temperature. The feels like temperatures are going to be more like the negative 20s. Yes, negative 20s. So just avoid going outside if you can. This is tomorrow morning. Not seeing any snow activity by then, but that will quickly change. By, I think, around lunchtime, you'll start to see that blue funneling in the southernmost portions of our region. So folks down to the south are likely to see a couple inches of accumulation tomorrow, and by just after lunchtime, we're seeing snow going up as far as Sedan to Parsons, Columbus, over in Joplin, Carthage, and out into the rest of Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. That will continue through the early afternoon. I do think we'll have a bit of a break from the snow around dinner time tomorrow. Still, you'll want to avoid going outside whatsoever. By Sunday night into Monday morning, we'll get another chance of some spotty showers. This is 3:30 early on your Monday morning. Some snow down to the south, and then all of us will have a chance of seeing maybe a shower or two move across the region throughout your day, Monday morning, throughout the entire day on your Monday. So looking at some snow accumulations, the areas down south are more likely to see snow than the rest of us. So folks in Oklahoma and northern Arkansas can see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow. The areas in light blue, that includes folks in Joplin, Neosho, Carthage as well, 1 to 3 inches. And then the areas up to the north are likely to only to see about a trace to 1 inch of snow. So not too much for our northern friends, more for our southern friends. As far as feels like temperatures, brutal out there. It will be feeling like negative 15 degrees in Neosho for the next couple hours. And then as we move through the overnight hours to tomorrow morning, this is Sunday, 7 o'clock. Negative 20 in Neosho, but similar for the rest of us, negative 26 up in Nevada and Yates Center. It is going to be a brutal one tomorrow. By lunchtime, you could see warming up to negative about 10 for the region, and then we'll cool right back off for your Sunday evening into overnight on your Monday. Things to have over the next couple of days as we're still under those alert days. lots of blankets, and please just stay indoors. You'll want to wear many layers of clothing if you do have to venture outside. Your water, make sure it's unfrozen. Maybe just put it on your body if you have to go outside. That way it actually stays liquid form, and then hand and foot warmers are always a good idea as well. Your next several days looks like this. Those alert days continue through Tuesday just due to the brutal temperatures. Snow expected across the region for us on Sunday. That'll stick around for Monday as well. Temperatures warming up a little bit for your Wednesday and Thursday with that other chance of snow, and then they'll cool right back off by next weekend.
Still ahead, former and current St. Louis Cardinals players meet with fans in Joplin. And Missouri Southern women's basketball looks to extend their winning streak. Brock Baldridge joins us for those highlights and more up next.
The Missouri Southern Lions women's basketball team has been on an absolute tear this month. The Lions have now won 7 straight games, and 4 of those 5 wins have been against opponents ranked in the top 20 or higher. Missouri Southern back at home after a short rest. The Lions face Nebraska Kearney this afternoon in the first quarter. Mia Topping scores the first points of the game as she gets the 3-ball here. Nothing but net. Lions lead by 3. Very next possession, Topping goes over to Mira Khan as she flushes home the 3-pointer at the top of the key. Lions up by 1 early. Still in the first, off the inbounds play, Caitlin Honeycutt gets the ball off quickly here and buries the jumper. Lions really spreading the wealth out today. In the second quarter, it's Kennedy Roach, the former Red Raven, and Vanita Hornet knocks down the 3 from beyond the arc. Lions led by 10 at halftime, so we head to the second half now. Grislin Jones steps back and puts it in there. Southern leads by 11. We head to the fourth quarter now. Ryan Franklin's going to post up and score the bucket right here. Her and Grislin Jones each scored 14 points in this game. And then Mia Topping takes care of business, puts this game to bed. Missouri Southern wins their 8th straight game. Southern wins 72-56, and the Lions are now all alone in first place in the MIAA standings.
The buy-in, I think, has been huge for these 8 games. And of course, the defense, and then executing offensively. I looked at over our last 5 games. I think we're shooting almost 50% overall and like 36% from 3.
We just need to keep doing what we've been doing, coming into practice every day, working hard, just supporting each other, and just like uplifting and encouraging each other.
The Missouri Southern men look to bounce back after a loss to Fort Hays State on Thursday night. Lions hosting the Kearney Lopers, just as the women did. In the opening minutes of the game, it's Vincent Sigmund Jr. who drives to the rim, gets the finger roll lay-in for 2. He led Southern with 18 points this afternoon. Still in the first half, Sam Thompson uses his size to get the hook shot to go there. But then Demiri Lindo, the other end for Kearney, gets the layup here, gets it for 2 points. Later in the half, Southern finds a spark on the offensive end, and that's Darius Dawson from downtown. Splashes that one home. However, Kearney, well, they can hit 3-pointers too. That's Tom Connolly who knocks down the 3 in the corner. But Southern starts to get the momentum rolling now. Tyreek Jackson goes up and under. What a play that was. And then later in the game, Darius Dawson, look out below. Big man coming through the lane for the dunk. Lions go on to get the victory, 88-78. Pitt State also at home this afternoon. The women's team defeated Nebraska Kearney on Thursday night, and today the Gorillas face the 15th-ranked Fort Hays State Tigers. A really tough game for Pitt State. They've now lost 2 of their last 3. Fort Hays beats the Gorillas 68-53. The men's team follows up just after the women's team, and they also are playing Fort Hays State. Really close game from start to finish, but Pitt State is able to pull away in the late minutes. Gorillas win this one 74-62 to improve to 9-5 on the season. Well, spring training begins in just over a month, and the St. Louis Cardinals head to Jupiter, Florida to prepare for the 2024 season. But today, the Cardinals pay a visit to Joplin on the campus of Missouri Southern for their annual Cardinals Caravan. A handful of current and former Cardinals players are in town for their annual Cardinals Caravan. The Caravan made 2 stops in Springfield on Friday, and on Saturday morning, they make their final stop in Joplin. The team uses this event to connect with fans in Southwest Missouri by, well, signing autographs and getting people fired up ahead of the season.
You know, we got Springfield right down the road, right? We got an affiliate there. It's it's Cardinal country, right? And anytime you can get to some of the smaller towns and get out in the community, because obviously we're about 4 hours from St. Louis here, so people might not get up there as much as they possibly can, and to put our faces with some faces out here it's fun.
Yeah, so I look at it as everyone from all over Missouri, or even there's Cardinals fans everywhere, they come and see us throughout the season, so it's pretty cool. We can hit the road and come see them. It's pretty special.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs look to defend their Super Bowl title tonight. It's officially Wild Card Weekend as the Chiefs just finished things up at Arrowhead Stadium with lots of coats, gloves, and ski masks in the crowd. The Miami Dolphins and Tyreek Hill pay a visit to Arrowhead, and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs answered. And look at this. Kansas City gets this win 26-7, just as many predicted. The Chiefs go on to win over Miami. Kansas City now advances to the AFC divisional round, and they will await the result of Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and that game will be played on Monday. Let's look for sports. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Another Top Gun movie possibly on the way. One of the co-writers for the last film, Top Gun Maverick, is said to be penning a new script for the next movie. He is aiming to reunite Tom Cruise with his next-gen co-stars Miles Teller and Glenn Powell. The director of Maverick is set to return, but moviegoers won't be seeing a trailer anytime soon. Cruise is currently working on the 8th Mission Impossible movie.
The next 3 days are going to be so dangerously cold that if people are stuck outside, they could die. So it's so important for you to check on your friends and family. And if anything happens to your heater, you want to make sure that you go to a warming center to make sure you stay warm. Our temperatures won't get out of the 30s all week long.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you stay warm. And I hope everyone at that Chiefs game is, in front of a fireplace at this point.
We saw Andy Reid's mustache being frozen in that game, so I can imagine a lot of other mustaches were frozen there too. But Chiefs, they get the win tonight. Patrick Mahomes' 10th playoff home game win.
Wow.
So congrats to him and the Chiefs, but also the Chiefs will have to await their opponent, Pittsburgh and Buffalo. That game was rescheduled to Monday, so we won't know if the Chiefs will host the next week or if they'll have to go on the road to Buffalo. We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see, but at least we do, and we're not out. So.
Yes, we're glad to be inside.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.